are. We're live on Win the Day live stream, where we talk about how you can win the day as a real estate salesperson, or anyone for that matter. Today, we're really lucky. We have Harrison Lilly with us. He formed and built up a big team in Monroe, Louisiana, where they're crushing. They're absolutely crushing. But not only that, he's taken his business from a single realtor to a team to now he's operating a bunch of different businesses, both tied to his real estate business, but also businesses that are away from not your everyday stuff. Before we get into that, Harrison, though, I don't know if y'all know who Cody Sanchez is, but she's pretty popular on social media right now. And I saw her talking about how when you own a business, you should find several income streams from that business. And she used a laundromat as an example, where you get the money from the coins that you put in the machines to wash and dry your clothes. But as an owner, you should also have vending machines selling soap and bounce stuff, or whatever, fabric softeners. And you should also have another machine that's selling sodas and candy bars or whatever else you sell. And then you should also offer drop-off cleaning service as another income source. And you should also have commercial folks that you'll do their overflow. You have all, she said every business should have 6 to 8 different, I don't know, she didn't call them side hustles, but legs to their stool. And I think, Harrison, you are getting there if you're not there on this. So Harrison, tell us about Harrison Lilly.
Yeah, so started out in 2016 as a new licensee. Didn't really go well, but you aren't here for that story. A year later, I'm selling 41 houses a year as a solo agent. Next year, 91 homes. And then I had this crazy idea that I was going to grow a really big empire. And so we started the Harrison Lilly team. At that time, we were at another brokerage, and we branched off about 5 years ago. That story has turned into, my dream was to sell 1 house a day as a team. We now sell about 1.5 houses, upwards of 2 houses a day. And so we've definitely hit that goal. Since we are in a smaller area and a smaller price point, and what I realized is commissions aren't getting any bigger up here, or down here rather. And I said, okay, so how can I live that life that I ultimately desire to live? And so I said, okay, I had this huge database of about 37,000 people in my area. How can I monetize that? And how can our already sales skills and our sales teams vertically integrate and close these people more than once? And we realized that people need services. So they need mortgage, they need title, they have to have insurance.
The same people.
Say that again?
The same people.
Yeah, the same people. Absolutely. And if they had a good experience and they trust your brand and you've done a good job taking care of them, it's really funny how easy that next close gets. And if you do a good job and you treat them well and they trust you, it's even easier to get that next close. And then you just become their person that they call when people need construction in their house, when they need a roof, when they need insurance, when they had a general real estate problem. They can just call me or call my office and we can take care of them.
So great. So great. Do you mind if I just shoot questions at you?
Go ahead, hit me.
Do you have a prepared presentation? I got questions. All right.
No, I'm good.
All right. So you get your license. Yeah, you're driving home from wherever the heck it is. You got your license. Oh, look at me. I'm a realtor. Look out, world. Right.
Yeah.
Was the goal day one? Were you like, look out, I can't wait till I have a roofing company, a title company, whatever company? Was that already there?
No, that vision would be inconceivable for me at that point. I'm coming off of drug addiction and getting out of the bars, right? I just wanted one win. I wanted one win. I wanted to make a sale. I specifically remember my first sale. I walked in, grabbed my son, put him on my shoulders, and I ran around the house as his mom was cooking dinner. And I was like, "Daddy sold a house," and we all had a party. It was great.
Because awesome, so awesome. Because most of the people that listen here or are going to interact with this are single agents. Just trying to get their deals going, right? And a lot of them like, oh my God, 400 deals, whatever. One. Just give me the one, right? So you didn't. All right. So you get your license. You're going. All right. How did you have a plan, or were you just floating on the water?
At that time, when I first started, I was absolutely just floating. I was at a national brokerage, not KW, and it didn't go well. I had this mentor that had sold like 3 or 4 houses themselves, and they said, if you want to be successful, you need to take phone duty and do open houses. And so that's what I did. I showed up there and I sat at their desk and I answered their phones for 8 months. Did open houses every single Sunday. Of course, I didn't know what to say to people. Um, I had some money from the previous venture that I had done, and I dumped that money into Zillow leads. And tell you what, Zillow leads don't really help if you, again, don't know what to say to people. So after it was about 8 to 10 months of completely failing, I started taking that money and I moved it into coaching, and that was actually the thing that turned my life around.
Okay. Okay. So you started out, it wasn't gangbusters right off. You tried some things don't work. A lot of things don't work.
It
Is
was
what I
awful. I
found.
actually went broke. My mortgage, I lived in a little $70,000 house. I didn't even have walls because I had termites when I bought the house and I didn't know it. So I lived in a house with no walls for like 2.5, 3 years. And I went broke to the point my mortgage was $480 a month. And I could not afford my mortgage and had to go get a job.
But you kept on. You said, you know what? I'm going to sell these roads. I'm going to sell these houses. Okay. So
I
good.
doubled
Good for
down.
you. Right. Determination, grit, all that stuff. And then you
Yeah.
got a couple deals together. How long did it take you to get rolling once you started going?
Well, so I didn't sell a house for the first 9 months.
Okay.
And then I switched my license over to another brokerage and just I got into coaching. I actually was in MAPS coaching. So instead of dropping money into leads, because I realized the leads don't matter if I don't know what to say to them. And I got into coaching, spent that money there. And magically that year, I sold 41 houses. It's crazy what someone helping you will do for your life.
If they're pointing in the right direction, for darn sure. I've had a coach since day one, to be honest, and I'm
I,
quite glad I did.
same.
And I had good coaches, so there's that. So, all right, you're starting. You're doing 41. How are you getting 41 houses sold? Where your business coming from?
So I delved into my sphere largely. Before I was in real estate, I was in bars and restaurants, mostly bars. I ran the number one bar and I owned the bar across the street that was the number two bar in town. And my first year out of those 41 houses sold, I didn't sell not one house to a person that I hadn't previously served a drink to.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. I love that. So I'm just thinking of people who are in real estate, getting started, first year or two. You had a life before this. Most people did, right?
Yeah.
Go to them. Is that the people in here? Is
That's
that
right.
what we're doing?
I
Go
got
to
I just
them.
got bold and made the ask and made sure they knew what I did. And
What'd you say to them? Hey, I'm not serving
uh,
drinks, or in addition, or what'd you say?
just being personable with them. Hey, how's it going? What are you doing? I didn't really make it about me or selling real estate. I just reconnected. That it's going to come up. Well, what are you doing these days? Where are you working? Oh, what are you doing these days? And you tell them. And it's just being that knowledge bank for people. You need to be the top three that someone thinks about. Be top of mind.
Love it, love it. All right, so you start selling houses. You got up to, are you 41? You have assistants? You have helpers? Just you?
Not no. That was completely solo venture.
Okay. When did you go from you plus one?
For us, it was going to be year 2.5 when I was about 70 units deep into that year.
Because Mike Ferry says get an assistant when you hit 50. Um, Depends on how you're doing it. Why did you get a plus one? What was the one?
So the original one was just a part-time assistant to help me do paperwork. It's the thing that I don't like. I love talking to people. I love going to people's houses. I love going to dinner and
Right?
going to movies and having a drink with people. I hate doing paperwork. And
Yeah.
so I wanted
I'm
to
on board with
leverage off
that.
I wanted to leverage off the activities that drain my energy and get into things that gave me energy because it's how I leveled up. It's how I did more. I stayed in my 20.
Okay. So you got an assistant doing the paperwork. You're out talking to people. When does number two show up?
Number two, as in number two agent or
Yeah. Well,
admin?
yeah. The next person. How about that?
Yeah, so I
Is
did
you
go
an
against the
assistant? When's the
MREA
next?
a little bit on that one.
All right.
So I did go ahead and go into salesperson. Um, Fun story when you're brand new at selling real estate and you start a team and you don't have any money, hiring other salespeople is kind of hard because you don't have a whole lot to give them.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
but we got through it. We brought on 2 or 3 agents within a year. Every agent on the team was producing. At that time, I was able to bring on a complete full time assistant, and that was a blessing in itself. I never had to run a sign again. Never had to input another listing in MLS. I never had to schedule photography again. That was a phenomenal change for us. And then helping these agents get into production was the next step for me.
Can I ask
Awesome.
a question?
Yeah, fire.
Sure.
So when you were adding agents and team members, what was your value proposition? What was attracting them?
Great question.
So it would probably be my meteoric rise in sales that attracted them would have been the production. And then if you get around me, you're going to find
Wasn't your good looks?
No, it wasn't my good looks. It definitely wasn't. I actually used to be prettier before I caught a brick to the face. That's a whole nother story for another day, though. This is the product of 7 plastic surgeries. But it honestly, it was probably just the energy that I brought into the room and the fact that people know, and I am known for doing whatever it takes. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to lead to the best of my ability. I don't push from the back. I pull from the front. And I do truly have a heart for my people. And I understand at a high level that it's not really about how much money I can make. It's about how much money I can help you make. And I know that if I can do that enough times, that I'll never have to worry about what I have and what I get.
So do you
That's
do
pretty rare
one-on-one?
trait.
Do you do one-on-one with each one of your team members, or do you do team meetings, and how regularly?
So I used to do one-on-one coaching, 30 minutes to an hour for every single agent. Within the last 2 years, we went from a 6 to 10 agent model upwards to we hold about 20 agents now, and we will likely cap out around 30. Because of that time constraint, I just wasn't able to keep up one-on-ones. So our accountability, what our accountability in our classes look like, we had an 8:30 and a 4:45 accountability call on Zoom or Google Meets. The
Beginning and
8:30
ending the day.
call, that's right. First call, are you dressed? Is your camera on? What is your plan to win for the day? Tell your teammates and be accountable to something or someone. And then the 4:45 call is nothing more than, did I do what I said I was going to do? Did I live in integrity that day? Did I show up for work for my family that day? And then share your wins or your losses. I want to hear your wins because I want to celebrate with you. I want to hear your losses because I want to coach you about that on Wednesday when I buy you lunch.
Love
Well,
it.
I thought, Harrison, you talked about getting them into production. What does that look like for you? That's something that I'm passionate about, is just being in production. What does that look like for new agents for you
So what does that look like today, or what did that look like in the beginning?
in the beginning?
In the beginning, I put them through the same thing my coach put me through. Let's get in that phone, that data bank that we have. Let's go through your Facebook. Let's start making the appropriate posts. Let's start reaching out and wishing people happy birthday. Let's connect the who to the what. And what I mean by that is, people know Harrison Lilly. Do they know what Harrison Lilly does? And it's not always about making an ask. It's about being top 3 in mind share. And you want to do that in your community as many times as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was do that. And let's start making the appropriate posts, which, we did, at the time, our board 6 years ago, professional photography, videography, 3D walkthroughs, it didn't exist. Those were things that I was doing for our agents. And now they have the best marketing materials in the area. Now, obviously, technology and time has caught up, and that should be standard if you're a real estate agent listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it was grassroots. It was, hey, we're all going into the office and we're going to lead generate together. I would seriously sit in there and dial for dollars for hours every single day with them. Life looks a little different now. It's pretty cool when you start making money in real estate and you can leverage. We
So
now
how
have
is
a
it
call.
different?
So I just believe in ultimate leverage. We have a 5-person call center. These ladies are making anywhere from $100 to $200 per day for us. They're calling around our listing launch plans. They're calling around our open houses. They are calling all of our inbound leads, which we do spend a ton of money on. We spend about $30,000 a month in marketing. So, and they're getting all the inbound leads, all the inbound phone calls, all that is being filtered through the call center, and then call center vets, pre-qualifies, tries to get them to a lender, and then of course picks the best agent for that person. And so we actually gave out over 150 closings last year to our buyers agents through those systems.
Love it. Love it. Hey, let me go backwards and go forwards if I can. So
Sure.
You start out, you're yourself, you bring on an assistant to do some of the stuff. Then you start hiring a couple 3-4 salespeople, right? That are side by side. We're all going to go at the market and we're going to provide you some stuff and energy and all that. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It starts growing up from there. Now you've got this machine operating. Was that always the plan? I know you said it wasn't day one. When does it become the plan? When do you start working a plan, or does the plan just work you?
It came through a lot of reading and a lot of dreaming, a lot of coaching, a lot of seminars. Um, it, I had a mission statement in my head that just developed over time, and that mission statement became my dream. And it was to be the brokerage that I needed whenever I started real estate. I
Got it.
I have found that, and this is not a blanket statement for all brokerages. I'm not throwing stones at anybody. I have found that most brokerages will sell you a lot and then not show up
Yeah.
when the going gets tough.
Yeah.
And it's because they want the closing and they want that split. And
Yeah.
I wanted to promise someone that this is the system that will help you grow. And if you will do everything I ask you to do, if you'll follow my checklist, if you'll do my activities, if you'll show up like this is a job, give me just 40 hours a week. You don't have to give me 100. Give me 40 hours a week. I will show you
Consistently.
what financial freedom looks like. Correct. Consistently. My 1-year agents are doing okay. My 2-year agents are doing better. My 5-year agents are making $250,000.
Yeah.
They're
So
staying
what's
in the
that?
system.
What does that checklist look like? Is it a daily, weekly, monthly? What is it? As you sit down with your agents and they have it the same checklist, or is it different?
So the only thing that's different is their lead generation pillars. They get to pick them. I'll teach about an 8-hour lead generation class every year. They will write down the things that they are committed to that year. And so whether it's social media, whether it's video, whether it's community events, you name it, church groups, ladies groups, men's groups, I don't care what it is. We're just going to go deep on whatever their pillars are. Everything else is the same. We're going to attend our accountability calls. I believe that that's half the secret sauce to our agents and their success versus the average brokerage. And that is, we show up and we intend to check on you and make sure that you're working, because your wife is going to look at me, or your husband is going to look at me and be like, why does my spouse not make money working for you? And then I want to be able to look at them and go, everyone else is, your spouse isn't showing up, right?
Yours is exceptional. Right. Yeah. Cool. Sorry.
Harrison, at what point did you say, okay, I'm going to start vertically integrating? How did that evolve? And not, John, I hope that's not jumping ahead too far.
No, that's my question. You got this team, you're rolling in, I'm guessing you look around and say, okay, I've got this group. I call them my army, my group, my little army going out to the market. I got this going pretty good. What else? Is that the way it works?
So it kind of, yeah. And it really came out of necessity. We're in, some of you people listening out here, you'll hear our price point and our commissions in our area, and you would go, how do you guys survive? Our average price point just a few years ago was 200,000. Am I allowed to say buyer agent co-op on here and what it is, the average is?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're not setting anything, right? Our average buyer agent co-op in Northeast Louisiana was 1.9% pre-NAR lawsuit at those price points. And there is a finite amount of money to be made here, and my perfect life could not be funded by what we were doing, even with selling 500 houses a year. The math did not math for me, and I'm working 100 hours a week. And I go, this doesn't work for me. I think somebody would pay me to come work for them this much without me taking millions of dollars in risk every year. And so the idea actually came through my marketing partners. I'm sure a lot of people that will watch this, if you don't, you should find them. But we have a lot of files that we can give out and help with. And we went and found our favorite lender, and we went and found our favorite title company, and we said, hey, we'd like to do an MSA, marketing agreement, whatever you guys want to call it. And I noticed through that, I was like, okay, well, I'm getting like half my marketing paid for. Like, this is cool, because that's a big budget for me. That's a big line item in my P&L. And I was like, so I'm closing them 3 times, and I got half of my marketing budget paid for. What else can I do? My brother's in lawn care. He's one of the hardest working young men I've ever met in my life. He's smart. He's good to people. He's a good kid. And I called him and I said, hey, man, how's it going over there? And I already knew how it was going. And he's like, my back hurts. I said, cool. I said, we need to put you in something where we sell higher ticket items. That's where the money's at. I said, I don't think you're a very good salesperson, but you'll work your ass off. And that's what I care about. And so we were going to open a tree company or a roofing company. And then unfortunately, a kid that was climbing a tree and cutting it died. My brother called me. He's like, I don't want to die. I said, so we're starting a roofing company? He's like, yeah. So we started a roofing company. A year later, we're the top 3 roofing company in the area, and 42% of the total volume of the roofing company came from the brokerage in our database.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm. I was also able to use during storms. We can use our database. I mean, our database plus our call center. So every time we have a hailstorm, windstorm, anything, it's a care call. Hey guys, did you guys receive any damage? Lilly Roofing will be over there to do some free tarping for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys need food? Do you need water? Do you need anything? How can we serve you today?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Now we've got huge storm coverage. We did the same thing with insurance. We bought an insurance brokerage that was failing in the area. We needed the appointments because Louisiana appointments were shut down. So bought a failed company that was only making like $20,000 a year. We bumped it over $100,000 a year in revenue in year 1. We'll over double that this year, and that's actually one of my focuses. When I leave you guys today, I'm going to meet with them. We're working on hiring another admin, another salesperson.
All right, let me ask you something. Let's assume I don't know anything about running an insurance company. Does that matter? Are you an insurance guru?
I know nothing about insurance other than it
I
costs
can't even
too dang
spell
much.
it, I don't think. Right?
Yeah, and by the way, I don't. Even though I am technically a licensed contractor, you don't want me to lay your roof.
Right.
I've never replaced a roof in my life, but I sell a lot of them.
Yeah. So you're looking for the opportunity to create the work, not to do the work. Is that fair?
Correct. I'm just taking my leads and offering value to somebody and going, hey, if I were to make you so busy the split didn't matter, would you partner with me?
And let them carry the knowledge, expertise, and know-how on that, but you got the skills, knowledge, and expertise on creating the business.
Yeah, and we have a really good system set up for making a 1-year business look like a 5-year business overnight. They get our marketing team, they get my director of operations who will go in there and set up their systems for them. They're going to get my call center, of course, when they have time. And now what we're doing is we're using my call center to train their call center. And so that has been just a blessing. But yes, it is about being able to just house all these expenses in one place and create revenue elsewhere.
Totally makes sense.
How does a newer agent apply that same principle in their business when they don't yet have the budget to go and buy a company or anything like that? How can they leverage those different vendors to support their business?
I think step 1 is you got to be someone that people want to partner with, and you got to bring value to a partnership. And so I would say a new agent, the best thing that they could do is hire a coach, go deep, and be consistent for a few years. And when you find that success, because it's not an if you'll do those activities, it's a when. If you're willing to work, you're willing to listen, you're willing to be coachable, and you're willing to be consistent, sit in that pot and marinate for 2 to 3 years, and you'll be ready to be somebody's business partner.
Become very attractive. People will find you. Right.
I mean, I have opportunities that someone called me the other day and like, hey, do you want to come buy this company? I said, I don't know anything about it. It's not a space I'm interested in. And I just bought like 2 things, and I got to be a good steward of what the Lord's blessed me with. I can't do that right now. Like I'm getting to the point where I can actually, I have to say no to opportunity. And that's exactly what John said. Be attractive. We're bringing the money. We're bringing the executive team. We're bringing leads. We get to choose now.
Okay. Let me ask you something. I started out, I have a phone, I have 550, 1,000, whatever people in here, right? So I'm going to start with them. Hi, I'm selling real estate whenever you need, whatever your script is, right? Think of me. Okay. And then you build that 50, 500, 1,000 to 2,000, 5,000, 20,000, whatever, right? Doing your real estate sales. But now you have, I'll call it a store, right? A mall. We'll call it a mall, right? In one of the stores in the mall is your real estate sales. Purchase and sales. Maybe another store in that same mall using the same clientele is property management. Maybe it's roofing. Maybe it's lawn care. Maybe it's insurance. Maybe it's power spraying driveways and houses. Maybe it's helping move. Maybe it's storage. Maybe it's all those things. And I know Gary was trying to put that together to be the one-stop shop at K-Dubs. I don't know that that's come together yet. I think that's his dream. He's trying to do it across a national level. I'm doing it with my vacation rentals. If I'm a new agent, you drop me in Davenport, Iowa or something like that. I do what you do. And I go out, Harrison, and I introduce myself to 10 people, 50 people, 1,000 people. And I start doing a good job, and people go, who in the heck is that guy? And boy, he's working hard. right? And then pretty soon it's like, I'm with him. Whatever he's doing, I'm doing that too. Matter of fact, can I play with you? In a way you go. And next thing you know, it's the banker and it's the whatever. And then all of it, right? But you got to start on day one, contact one, and do the hard work. It's very hard to trade up. Is that fair to say, to just jump on somebody else's success and call it your success?
I mean, if you want to be an entrepreneur, that's fine. And God knows the world and me and you, any business owner needs entrepreneurs, people who are willing to build businesses inside your business and piggyback on that success. So that is an option. But if you're wanting to be the guy, that is a longer building phase, and you got to cook a little bit longer.
And you can build inside somebody else's dream. There's no question about it. If your dream fits in their dream, go for it. 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Harrison, one of the things that strikes me is you're open to partnering, whether it's on a land deal or what have you. You're not always just sitting there saying, I got to be the guy that knows everything. You're quick to say, I'd rather be in partnership than have it all on my back.
So, well, I think that started as more of a comfort blanket than a financial thought, right? Like risk mitigation is a real thing, especially like there's some deals where I'm playing outside my financial house. Like I do well, but I'm not whoever that person is way up there, right? And so some of it's partnering up and mitigating risk. Some of it is strategic. One of the things that we do with our top agents, when someone's selling 50 to 70 to 80 or 90 houses, and yes, we have 5 or 6 agents who are doing 50 plus homes a year. Those people are attractive to brokerages, and brokerages, as you know, or they're calling. I'll give you 10,000. I had an agent get offered my number one agent was offered a multi-6-figure deal to leave me. And she called me and told me, and I said, I don't buy agents. I've really enjoyed our partnership. I really hope you have a great day. And she was like, oh, I'm not leaving. I was just telling you about the offer. I was like, oh, well, I'm honored. Thank you for staying. But so what do you do with people like that whenever for us in here in Monroe with our commissions and our price points, there is a glass ceiling to how much money you're going to make. And when somebody makes something for that long, 2 or 3 years, winners, what's the first question in their head? What's next for me? I don't want to sit here. And so I've opened up where they can invest with me at 0 money down and still have 20% equity stake. Or they can invest up to 50% with me and flip houses, do rentals. So I own, with my top agents, I own millions of dollars of real estate. And I'm like, hey, I want to help you grow. You've helped me grow. We've won together. So why don't you come do this deal with me? My title partner, who has been so gracious to me over the years and really helped me a lot. I buy stuff with him. Not for his money, not for anything, because this is me over here helping them grow their worlds. And whenever they have deals, you know who they think of first?
Yeah, for sure.
They think of me. One of my agents called me this last year, and he had never flipped a house, and he's like, hey, I'm just looking for an investor to sell this to. Do you want to go look at it? And I went and looked at the house, and I said, dude, there's over $100,000 in profit here. And he said, yeah. He goes, I'm just going to get 6%. I said, do you want 6% or do you want to be an owner? And he said, well, I'd like to be an owner, but I don't have the money. And I said, cool, I do. Let's buy it. We split 50 G's a piece at the deal. 2 months later, it was great.
So great. One of the main components that we talk about here is if you talk to somebody and they say they want to sell, the first person that should be looking at it is the person in the mirror, right? Yeah. If the numbers work, should I buy it? Right. And if I'm not going to buy it, who else do I know that may partner with me and buy it? Right. Should I buy it? Should you buy it? Should we buy it? Should our team buy it? The last person should buy it is once you list it, right?
Yeah, I agree. Ben Kinney said this at it was a KW event, probably my first 2 or 3 years in real estate. It was family reunion, and he was teaching a class on investing. And he said the first thing I ask myself at every listing appointment is, should I sell this house or should I buy this house?
Yeah.
And then going over what you can do as a realtor to be in no down payment deals. You as a realtor are not capped at 2% or 3% or 6% or whatever it is you charge for your business.
Yeah.
You can actually have a 20% commission, guys. You can finance anything with that real estate license. And it is a beautiful, beautiful thing as long as the numbers work.
Yeah.
Wait,
know your numbers. Right.
Tease that out. You can finance it with your commission. Tease that out.
So if I'm buying $100,000 house and it demands, the bank says, well, I want $20,000 down, I can pay myself a $20,000 commission on that deal. It is not upward. Your commission in a commercial deal does not have to be capped nor customary. So as long as they sign on the dotted line that they're okay with that happening, it appraises well, and you can cash flow the deal. Do it. I've done it tons of times.
So let me summarize some of the things that you started when you first started. You recognized I can't do this by myself, and you got a coach. And then tell me what I'm missing. You started building your transactions, and once you built your transactions up to a certain point, you said, I need an assistant. And then your transactions multiplied from there, and you said, I don't like doing certain things, and it's more than I'm not good at. This drains me. That's what I heard you say. I stopped doing the things that drain my energy, and I got people to do the things, hired people that was their gift. And then you started building the agents on your team, and then you started adding businesses, and then you started adding opportunity for the winners on your team to be able to invest and to teach them how to invest and how to have multiple streams of lead generation, where you do an 8-hour class once a year, that you teach them the lead gen pillars, and they get to decide. And then you have a checklist where they show up, and you have an 8:30 and would you say a 4:45 call, beginning of the day, end of the day call?
Correct.
What are we missing in that formula?
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the DNA of my life and my business. Yeah.
I think
So
one of the
what
things
next? Yo, go ahead, Mark.
Well, I think one of the things is, Harrison, you were willing to do the things that drained you initially, and then purposely found people that the things that drained you inspired them. I think a lot of agents aren't willing to do for a season the things that are hard, and they're quickly looking to get out of it.
Right
you
on.
put in the grind.
There is
And
a
I'm
sacrificial
like,
season. There is a sacrificial season in every success story. Unless you hit the lottery, or you just happen to be the lucky one to be born by a certain parent, which I have great parents, but we didn't. My dad's a pastor of a very small church, and my mom was a part-time accountant, and we had 5 kids. That wasn't in the cards for us. And so unless you're one of the lucky ones, there is a sacrificial season before your success comes, and you have to learn to appreciate it. And let me tell you something about that sacrificial season. You'll look back on it, and it will feel like torture while you're sitting in the pot and you're cooking, but it is something that you will be so thankful for. And it is a thing of gratitude for me today to go, look where we came from. When you think your life sucks and you're sitting over here winning, you look back and you go, wow, my life is not that bad. This is pretty cool. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not always easy. Is it ever easy? I mean, let's just be
No,
honest.
yesterday completely sucked. Like, it was awful.
Yeah.
I'm hoping today's better.
Well,
Right.
in that sacrificial season, you're also learning. And if you can't know how to, pound the nail, you can't teach someone how to pound the nail, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Harrison, I was going to ask you, I feel like as a new agent, I'm in that sacrificial season now. You talk about you got to cook for a little bit. What did that look like for you being a newer agent before you got to your success? What was that sacrificial season like for you?
I had to sacrifice. So I was in the bars and nightclubs in our area. I was the guy. We live in a small town, but the bar culture here at that time was alive and well. And I mean, I was 22, 23 years old, bringing home 150K cash. I worked 3 days a week. I was the party guy. I was at a party 7 nights a week. And I had to lose that identity. And it's not cool to work at a sandwich shop to make a living after you go from that life. And it was very humbling.
Last time's at Ridgemont High when Brad had to go to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Whatever.
but for me, that suffering was me losing my ego. It was me laying down my pride and saying, I am willing to do whatever it takes, including cleaning public bathrooms and selling sandwiches to provide for my family. And that did nothing but drive me to, after my 45 hours there at a place called Nukes, I went home and I lead generated every single night until I passed out. When I got home, my girlfriend had a vodka tonic on the desk for me, computer on, mic her out. She knows I was about to get on that whiteboard, and I was going to go double down. And that's how I worked for an entire year.
I missed something in that summary. I missed your mission statement to create a business that served you in the way that you wanted to be served when you were new. So you need to have that driving, and then the family. You have to have goals and mission in order to go towards something rather than run from something, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. There needs to be a purpose to it. Suffering in vain doesn't. I would say that doesn't really equal anything. There's got to be a reason for it, and for me, it's legacy. It's building. It's when
Mhm.
someone says my last name, the name that my dad gave to me, and he took such good care of. I want them to know it's a good people. It's an honest people, and they're going to help you. We want to help people hit their goals.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So it's not easy. We're all in agreement there, but it's doable. We in agreement there?
Absolutely.
If you do the work, you're more likely to get lucky than if you don't do the work. We're in agreement there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Hard work and luck are strangely correlated, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
they are.
So start there. If you're new, if you're struggling, if you're any of that stuff, start there. Start with this thing. Start with the people you know, and let them know what you're doing, and then reach out to the people you don't know with some piece of information. Just listed, just sold is always good, about where they want to live, and just start growing the contact list in here, and whether it's social media or whatever, right? Believe in yourself. Give yourself time to marinate, and always, always, always keep going. Look for next, and how do I keep this thing going? Fair? Am I on this?
You're killing it.
Okay. All right, Harrison. Thank you for being on. How if somebody needs something in Monroe, if they here's even better. So I don't know. Are people going to buy in Monroe? Maybe they are. Maybe they're moving there. Maybe they're not. But maybe this is the better likelihood. And I'm trying to pound this with this group on here. If you all list a property or bounce into a property you're about to list, ask yourself, should I buy it? And if you're not going to buy it, will you consider this guy? Will you bring me in on it if you think it's worth looking at? Will you bring Harrison in? I don't know, Harrison, are you interested if somebody has a cash flowing deal? Would you want to hear about it?
I love flips. I love cash flow. I like all the things.
So wherever you are, I don't care if you're in San Diego, New York, Miami,
I don't know
wherever
if
you
I
are.
can afford you in San Diego, but if you're like in a
Wherever
small
it is,
quaint
right?
town in
There's people
Nebraska,
all over.
maybe.
If the thing
But
cash
Harrison-
flows, you'd be surprised what you can afford, right?
And you
If you
mentioned
can
you've
show
got
that it cash
properties.
flows.
You've got properties in Monroe, West Monroe, that people elsewhere go, I don't know that I can get in, that cash flow crazy good.
Yeah, maybe you got deals.
Yeah.
How do we get a hold of Harrison Lilly?
Phone number's on the
so-
screen here.
Oh, there you go. 318-732-6030. My email is harrison.lilly@thltrealty.com. And if you struggle with that, you can literally just Google my name. You'll find me.
Because here's the thing, there are deals out there. There's more. Well, here, I'll change it. One thing I know for sure, there is more money out there than there are deals. If you run into a deal, money's going to find you. All right.
Mhm.
It's just the way it is. If you can show somebody this thing's going to make $100,000 or whatever that guy said to you, you're like, yes. Right.
Yeah.
Find
We're
yourself
so
a
quick
deal.
to be
Reach
the
out to me,
employee
reach
instead
out
of
to
the
Harrison,
employer.
reach out to anybody. Let's do a deal. What's that, Harrison?
So we're so quick to be the employee rather than the employer. People would rather work for 6% than take the risk and take the owner profit.
Mhm.
There's a reason that the investors have bigger houses than us.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically remember why I became an investor. I found a deal. And this is before I'd ever flipped a house or knew anything about anything. I was brand new and I just needed a sale. And I found a deal. It was on the MLS, and just there was a deal to be had, right? Agent underlisted it. And I went and found some investors and I said, hey, you need to buy this house. There's a lot of money in it. They went and saw it. We negotiated the deal. They ended up making 90 G's off that deal. So
Mhm.
over here, 90 G's on a flip that's a grand slam.
Mhm.
20 to 30 G's is normal. And they beat me up on my commission a little bit. I was brand new and didn't know how to defend it, right? And then I found the deal for them. They beat me up on my commission. We list it. They make 90 G's. I get a thank you card, and it was a handwritten note. I was actually very appreciative of the thank you card, but there was $500 bills in there. And I looked at that and I went, I just helped somebody make 90 G's.
Mm-hmm.
I took a reduced commission and they gave me $500. And while I was so thankful, I reframed that and went, I'm never giving away $90,000 ever again.
Yeah.
I
Right.
like my family more.
Yeah.
And I went and gave the $500 to my staff. I gave everybody, I divvied it out, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't want that. I learned a lesson today."
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing too, guys. Don't get wrapped up. I can't be an investor. I don't have the money. You don't need the money. You need the knowledge. You need the deal.
Mhm.
If you got the deal, you don't need, don't take the 6%. Hold out. Be the equity, or don't be the equity guy. Be the sweat equity guy, girl,
Mhm.
person, right? That brings the deal.
Yeah.
Maybe you partner. You'll find people, you know what? I'll throw you 10, 20, 25, 30, 45, whatever percent on this deal. And on the next one, it's more. And on the next one, it's more. And eventually you become the equity. You become the money person. Does that sound
Yeah.
like a familiar
Yeah,
story,
'cause-
Harrison?
Yeah, I used to borrow all the money from the banks. Now, if it's a short flip and it's only 2 to 3 months, I can get in, get out, and I know it'll hit the market and get off it quick. I'll go cash to keep the banks out. And there's houses. I flipped a $400,000-$500,000 house, which for here that's luxury price point.
Mhm.
I put half down, and I went to the bank and got the rest. There's deals I have right now. I just bought a 6-house package. There's about $200,000 in equity in those 6 houses, and I put zero money down. They're going to
Yeah.
cash flow about $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and it's absolutely amazing. And here's the best part: I have a property man, like a project manager, that I just give him a small piece of equity, and he does all my stuff for me. I go in there and prescribe the plan. I
Mhm.
never see the house again. It's
Mhm.
great.
See, that's
So-
because you're the consultant. There's a difference between 3% and 6% in consultant. Consultants are 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Realtors are 3%, 6%, and sometimes, what did
Yeah.
you say, 1.9?
yeah, 1.9 over here prior to the NAR lawsuit.
Yeah. So,
So change your mindset, people. You're a realtor, you're lead genning to find commissions. Okay, that's fine. Your commission is what you're going to use to create income, that you're going to use to create wealth, the ultimate thing. But really, perhaps the more ultimate thing is the knowledge and the connections and the inside information you are learning. Every time you knock on the door, call on the phone, and somebody says, "You know what? I'm thinking about selling." Really? Tell me a little bit about what you're, and you get into it. And you talk to enough people, most of them are going to be just put it in the MLS, but enough of them are going to be, that's something you should get into, right?
Well,
Or I
the
got a guy or a
The
gal.
real
Or a
thing
group.
is when you're a realtor and people say, I know you say I can buy it with nothing, but I can't. Remember, when you're the realtor and you're the listing agent, you can buy a property with 3% down. Now, typically not an investment property. That's your commission. So if you're the buyer and you charge 6%, now you're 6% because you're the listing agent and the buying agent. You have 6%. Now you ask the seller to pay for the other 4% in closing costs, finance it, like Harrison said, borrow from the bank. And now you're at 10%, and you've really come up with
It's a mindset.
nothing.
Change your
Nothing.
mindset.
Mhm.
Just remember, you are in the driver's seat as a realtor.
All right, Harrison, wrap us up here. Give us I'm new. What do I do? Just get me through the next year.
To win the
What are you
day.
telling folks?
Yeah. Be consistent, show up every day, create a powerful schedule that has powerful habits in it that will set you up for success. Be consistent to that schedule. Man, I can't say that enough. Don't do something for 2 weeks and tell me it doesn't work. Do it for a year and tell me how great your life has gotten.
Mhm.
You're in that schedule. There needs to be 2, 3, 4 hours of lead generation in the morning. You need to set an appointment for that afternoon. If you don't set an appointment, you go back to the phone. You go back to your lead generation. You go back to that men's group, that women's group. You go back to wherever it is that you need to go make contacts and stay top of mind for people. If you'll just do that over time, you'll win.
Yeah. It's not hard. It's not easy, but it's effort. There is no doubt about it. And let me ask you another question real quick. And we'll wrap this up. Because I know the real estate market, generally speaking, is hard. Transactions are way down, all that stuff. What's your confidence in the future of real estate, Harrison?
Oh, I am superbly confident.
Oh my
I'm
word.
dropping. I'm doubling down. I'm going all in. I am neck deep in the dive. It's not going anywhere. Real estate, just okay. Service-based businesses aren't going anywhere because people want to be served. They don't want to learn what they don't know, and they want to stay in comfort. So if you'll get super uncomfortable and become the real estate consultant, which is,
Yeah.
it takes time to become that. It takes thousands of deals to become that.
Knowledge, expertise, skills.
That's right. People will always pay for the expert. It's why you pay a doctor. It's why you pay a lawyer. It's why you pay a financial advisor. It's why you pay the therapist when you go talk to them. What are your problems? I'm the expert that can help you fix them.
Yep. So I hear so much because I sell investment real estate. I hear so much, oh, real estate's dead. Nobody's ever, you don't rent, don't buy a house. I'm like,
We're just in a cycle.
Yeah. As long as people are alive, they're going to need a, Julie says this all the time. You got to live somewhere, right?
You need a place to live.
You need a
Everyone-
place to live. So real estate ain't going nowhere, but this way up. Right now, it might be a little, but that's just the ride about to take off, people. If you're struggling, fight the fight. Hang in there because it's going to turn. And when it does, make sure you're ready for it, is all I'm saying. All right?
Absolutely.
Mark, last words?
Hey, look, there's not a lot to add to that other than buckle up, get on board, get going. That's what it's going to take.
Love it. Destiny, any takeaways?
I do. I would say it's not an overnight game. Be okay with cooking for a little bit. I love that.
My experience is those that achieve success early don't last.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep,
sometimes the
absolutely.
Mhm.
Julie, last words?
I'll come back to real estate's not going anywhere no matter what's happening, because what we need to live is, number one, we need air. Number two, we need water. And number three, ahead of food, is shelter. You can live a lot longer without food than you can without shelter. So it's not going anywhere, especially when you serve people.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Harrison, I just can't thank you enough. That was, unbelievable. For anybody who watches this back, watch it 2 and 3 times. I'm excited for it. That was really super cool, dude. Really cool. You got anything
pleasure.
else you
Thanks for
want to
having
say
me.
before we sign off?
Man, I'm great. Thank you guys for the opportunity, and I hope y'all have a great day. Go kill it.
Send some business Harrison's way.
That's right.
All right, guys. Awesome,
Thank you,
Harrison. You're the best. Let's go to work. Let's win the day.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.